Hi, and welcome to this next video on standard form. Well, there's something I forgot to mention in the first video, so I'll mention it in this video. Remember that we said that the A cannot be positive, the A cannot be negative in standard form. Some other rules to know is that you cannot have fractions in standard form and you cannot have decimals in standard form. Those are no-nos. So no fractions, no decimals, and A should be a positive coefficient. And also remember that AX and BY should be on the left side and C should be on the right side. Okay, so if we know two things, so when we do our checklist for standard form, when we're going to standard form, we learn that AX and BY should be on the left side, and then also C on the right side. And occasionally you may see it flipped around and it's still standard form, but all you have to do is rewrite it. And then 3, capital A coefficient. So the coefficient must be positive. And then 4, no fractions anywhere in any coefficient. Otherwise, it's not standard form. And then 5, no decimals in any coefficient. Okay, so if that happens, then that means that we have to multiply something to make those numbers whole numbers. Okay, and we may see some examples of that, or we'll do some of those probably in class. But there's plenty of problems where you can practice that. Just remember that if you have fractions or decimals, you have to multiply it by something that will make all of those fractions and decimals whole numbers. Otherwise, it's not standard form and it can't be written in standard form. Okay, so now let's look at going from standard form to another form. So remember that you can convert back and forth between all of these. And so I have 2 examples in which I'm going to show you that process below. So for the first 4 examples in the previous video, we converted from slope-intercept form to standard form, and then from point-slope form to standard form. Well, in this example, I'm going to convert from standard form to slope-intercept form. So I have 2x plus 3y is equal to 10. Well, part of solving for putting something in slope-intercept form is I want to solve for y. So I want this in the form y equals mx plus b. So remember what you're solving for. Remember when we did literal equations and you needed to circle the variable that you're solving for so you don't get confused or forget what you're solving for? Well, that's a good habit to keep in when you're converting to standard form. You know that you're going to solve for y when you're converting from standard form. So let's move 2x. Minus 2x minus 2x. So far I have 3y is equal to 10 minus 2x. Well, for it to be in slope-intercept form, 2x should go first. So that should be negative 2x plus 10 if we rearrange that. But I still have this 3y, and y has to be solved for. So that means that I have to divide the whole equation by 3. That means every term has to be divided by 3. So if I divide 3y by 3, I have to divide negative 2x by 3, and I also have to divide 10 by 3. So that will cancel, and so y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 10/3. Well, luckily in slope-intercept form, you can actually have fractions and decimals. It's just standard form. So whoever arranged this slope-intercept form equation to standard form apparently had to multiply by something, probably 3, which is why you have a y value of 3 in order to get that in standard form, because they couldn't leave that negative 2/3 x in their equation, or the negative 10/3. Okay, so now let's look at an example to go from standard form to point-slope form. Well, in this case, we have 2x minus y is equal to 9. So this will be a couple more steps, but it's pretty similar to the example that we just did, the example above. So we have 2x minus y is equal to 9, and I want to get this to point-slope form. Well, first, I have to go to slope-intercept form. So let's do that first. So minus 2x minus 2x. And so what I end up with is negative y is equal to 9 minus 2x. Okay, well, this is a negative y, so that means y is not solved for. We're still multiplying it by negative 1. So let's divide by -1, everything by -1, so that will change the signs. You can also multiply by -1, it has the same effect. And so this will be y is equal to -9 plus 2x. So y is equal to 2x is equal to positive 2x minus 9 when we finally get that in slope-intercept form. But we want point-slope form, and in order to do that, we need a point and a slope. So the slope is obviously going to be 2. That's not going to change. And the point that we're going to use b, the y-intercept, as our point. So if b is -9, then we're going to use that as the point 0, -9. And so that will help us write it in point-slope form. So remember that point-slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And so in this case, y minus, well, of course, we have -9 is equal to 2, our slope, times x minus 0. And you can use whatever point you want. If you wanted to go ahead and graph it and find other points, that's fine. But for simplification purposes, I'm just going to use a point that I have, which is the y-intercept. So y plus 9 is equal to 2 times x minus 0. And remember, don't try to solve or eliminate that 0 because that's telling us a point. So the whole point of point-slope form is you need to leave it like that so that we know that whatever this point is, that the value, the coordinate for x is 0. All right, so this is our final equation. So these were just examples of how to go back and forth. Remember that we can go from any form to standard form, and we can also go from standard form to any other form. All right, I hope this video has helped. Watch it as many times as you need to, and do lots and lots of practice. That's the only way you get better, and that's the only way you remember the rules.